right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another Inside Scoop session. My name is Arun, and I am the marketing manager at Isempower. Today is a very interesting day. We have a special guest um, from the US and also from Canada who specialize in cybersecurity. So, the number one key thing I face as an international student is I get a lot of scam calls, and which is why the heroes today who's participating with us is here and is there to help a lot of international students. So, without further ado, allow me to introduce our guests. So, we are thrilled to welcome Jeff Pidger and Kyle Rose, the dynamic duo behind CyberAi. Uh, Jeff has leveraged his unique perspective to see beyond the invisible challenges of cybersecurity, making significant stride in protecting individuals and businesses from online frauds. Co-founding AI has allowed him to apply his extensive background in database and security to develop ScamBlock Plus, a tool that is designed to outsmart cyber threats. Alongside with him, Kyle Rose, a serial entrepreneur with a personal connection to fraud protection prevention, brings his experience and passion to cyber AI, helping to drive the company's mission to safeguard digital lives. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Kyle and Jeff. Hi, gentlemen. How are you guys doing today?
Very well. Thanks, Arun. Thanks for having us.
I think we're doing fine. Well, we're excited about tonight's podcast and the opportunity here. Thank you.
I mean, it's a great opportunity to have both of you here because, as we all know, being doesn't matter even it doesn't even matter if you're an international student, but being anybody here in the country or across the globe, the one thing that you really face is scams and frauds. So having Cyber's AI here today, and we'll hear more about what you guys are doing. I think it's going to really help not just one or two people, but everybody who is watching this live, and whoever we push out this message to. So yes, if you could introduce yourself a little bit, that would be great, Kyle.
Sure. Yeah. My name is Kyle Rose. I'm the Vice President of Business Development here at CyberAi, and been working in the fraud detection and scam space for around a little over 4 years. I started a movement on social media called the Blockers of Scams, and it was originally just a Instagram page highlighting scams that we see all the time, just to warn people. And we built a following, a decent following, and grew it from there. And we're now a company with serving many people, and it's been a pleasure helping people stay safe from scams online.
Thank you so much. How about yourself, Jeff?
Sure. Jeff Pledger is my name. I happen to be the CEO of CyberAI. For many of you who may not realize it, I am blind. I don't see. But what that has caused for me is the ability to see things from a different perspective. I have more than 26 years of application security experience as a database application security engineer working at Verizon from the federal systems line of business. My wife and I migrated to Canada some 6 years ago, and we reside now in Toronto. And we teamed up with Kyle and our other partner, Anuyan Kuga, to help create CyberAI and ScamBlocks Plus, our premier browser extension, to help people reduce their risks from online frauds and scams.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeff and Kyle. So I think without further ado, we already have a number of audience who's watching us. So let's just dive right in.
Okay.
If you could walk me a little bit through the origin of CyberAI and what motivated you to start.
Jeff, go ahead, Jeff. You could start this one.
Sure. We both went through the Seneca College Helix entrepreneurial program. I know that's a mouthful, but that's for people who are courageous enough to want to start their own business.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle and I had different coaches, but then came together under the same coach, a woman by the name of Shelley Markel, who introduced the two of us and thought that there was a great match. And we sat down and came up with a team that could work together. And like any other team, there are challenges along the way, but the willingness to want to see it through to fruition, to a successful completion, has always been our goal. If you want, let me just briefly talk to you about what Scam Blocks Plus does. It's a browser extension that helps to reduce the risk, as I said, for people and small and medium sized businesses from falling victim to frauds and scams online. It works in 95% of browsers across 99% of operating systems. So if we think of Google, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, that's the Windows, Mac, and Linux environment. In Android, we have Kiwi, Opera, Brave, Yandex, and in the Apple world, we support Safari. Now, the main proponent here is that the browser must support browser extensions. So those are the browsers that we look at. And if you look at the percentages, they add up to just about 95% of the browsers. If you think about it, what makes us different is we don't just want to tell you, hey, this is a website you shouldn't go to. We want to help educate you as to why you shouldn't go there. So we offer a website trust score report with the factors that help to justify the website trust scores that we give. And it falls into three basic categories: known frauds and scams, most likely frauds and scams, and what might be a fraud or scam. And then we have what I like to call our secret sauce, and that's CyberAi. Kyle, can you talk to us a little bit about CyberAi and what he does?
Yeah, so CyberAi has been a tremendous help for our company, and I give Jeff and Suzanne all the credit for bringing this to our company and having the foresight to introduce CyberAi. His official title is Director of PAWS, which stands for Protection Against Worldwide Scams. So it's catchy, it's cool, it's cute. It's something that we want to make sure people understand his help. I have a copy of his book here, and he's real. It's not just a book cover. Ollie has been a tremendous help in helping us fight fraudsters and scammers. And he has a YouTube channel. He comes with us when we do speaking engagements, and he's been a tremendous help. So look out for CyberAi on YouTube. And again, he's been tremendous in what we do here at CyberAi.
Okay, thank you so much, Kyle and Jeff. I mean, that is, it's a good beginning, and I'm glad both of you met. And I am sure that based on what we've chatted earlier behind the scene, we have already helped a lot of people, whether it be students, entrepreneurs, business people. You have helped people from all across the globe. I've seen you do work with people from Jamaica, people from Toronto.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, like we have come a long way, and I'm glad that we have this opportunity today to showcase to everybody.
Well,
So
there's one thing, Arun, I think we need to focus on too, and what Kyle brings his experience to this. Kyle, I'm going to tell him for a little bit, and then let him speak for himself. He brings a wealth of experience from traditional offline scams and frauds that happen, and helping people to understand, for instance, such things as housing scams that you might find in and around the Toronto area, which is a huge problem for international students. Kyle, you want to talk about some of those experiences?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Arun, I know you were going to ask, is that what you're going to lead to, or do you want me to touch on that? Yeah.
I was going to ask, what do you bring?
Yeah. So to Jeff's point, like I have a passion when it comes particularly for international students, and this is why I wanted to and I thank you for the opportunity and it's empowered to come on here. I went to 3 different post-secondary institutions. Okay, so Trinity Western University in Langley, British Columbia, St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario, and then York University here in Toronto. And one of the big things, of course, mostly all students go through, international students, is they study. They come to this country looking to, whatever their dream may be. And 2 of the main things that they focus on that they've been targeted, which I've noticed, is housing scams and job scams. When I was in St. Clair in Windsor, Ontario, I worked as a residence advisor on the main campus. And typically what happens is, students come in their first year, if they're away from the city, they will live in the resident housing. And then come their second, third year, they want to branch out to find their own place to live, right? Apartments, basement apartments, whatever. And part of my job as an RA is to kind of help students navigate the city, navigate the campus. And when it comes to helping them find new housing, a lot of different scams came my way. People would come to me like, "Hey, Kyle, look, they took $500 deposit. This happened, that happened." This came across on Facebook Marketplace, on Kijiji, you name it. So this is what I kind of bring to the table. It's the tangible working one-on-one with the international students, getting their feedback. My ears are kind of to the streets per se to kind of hear what's exactly going on, what they're facing, and kind of help them navigate and spread the word, because education's power.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Which is
interesting.
really extremely valuable, because what it is, it's that common sense experience that helps people to avoid frauds and scams that technology can't really solve all the time.
I mean, it comes to a point where no matter how much you're trying to help people prevent all these scams, at the end of the day, it comes to logic as well. Like how, even
Hmm.
though you have scam block that is there to help you, but then eventually at the end of the day, it's a matter of common sense of do you reach out, do you click on that link that seems very weird to you or that seems off, and that I think that's where you hit the point where like you're not happy about.
Hmm.
And that's why we have CyberAi, and to his credit, because again, you touched on it, Arun. It's common sense stuff, but we all know, like, depending on the type of the scam, you could be, they fight on our emotions. They kind of get to us, especially if you're coming here, you're looking for a job, you're looking for housing, things are tight, money is tight. You don't really sit back and think of the common sense stuff, and this is how they get you. It's a psychological thing. And that's why we're the type of company that, we don't want to just give a software and be like, hey, download this and, it will help you out. We realize that meeting people where they are is very important. And this is where CyberAi comes in, because, everyone loves dogs, but CyberAi is more than a dog. It's someone that you could confide in. We tell people, if you've fallen victim to a scam, especially as an international student, don't be ashamed. There are many people, smart, who own businesses, multimillionaires, who fall to scams every day. So you don't have to feel like you're doing something bad, or that you're a loser, or whatever the case may be. We're here to help you in a confidential way, and this is what CyberAli is all about in our company.
If you could walk me through a little bit on CyberAli and Scamblock. So how do I make full use of Cyber AI? So I install Scamblock on my device, and then what's next? So are you protecting me from not just emails or text, but like what about all these scams that is coming through on WhatsApp? Like you mentioned earlier about students are coming here, they're desperate on getting a jobs, and oftentimes you see those scams coming through WhatsApp. So are you able to protect them through there as well?
Of course. Of course we are, because they provide some type of link that's going in there. The minute you click on the link, our software, Scamblocks Plus, uses its algorithms to determine, again, if it's a known fraud or scam, and that will give you a score of 0, or if
Mm-hmm.
it's most likely, which gives you a score of 0 to 25,
Mm-hmm.
or if it might be a scam, which is a score of 26 to 50. Now, here's the beauty of it. If it's most likely a fraud or scam, you really shouldn't touch it, because it's pretty darn sure that it is a scam. But what happens if the score is 26 or 27 or 28? That's very, very important and very close to being most likely a scam. So you should really pay attention to it and look at the website trust score report, so you can see how we get to justify that website trust score. It could be, was the website blacklisted? Was it ever suspended? Does it have an email configured properly for both input and output? Does it support DMARC, which is domain-based messaging, authentication, reporting, and compliance protocol? That's for spoofing. Does it come from a top-level domain that's from a known scam or fraudsters?
So if I
Is it?
could walk, sorry to cut you, Jeff. If you
That's
could walk
okay.
me through a scenario, if you could walk me through a quick scenario. So
Sure.
I receive, if I receive a message on, could either be on message or SMS or WhatsApp, and of course I know that it's scam, but because why would Netflix reach out to me with a certain number? But then, but
Kyle, do
then,
you want to take that one?
but
No, Arun, he's asking you, Jeff. Give the scenario. Yeah, that would be good.
but
Okay.
but then I click. But then there's a link. So I click on that link.
Right.
So normally, if by clicking on that link, I'm already giving them the authority to like to
No,
take
you're
over.
not. You're just clicking on the link. You haven't given them any authority.
Okay.
So you click. here we often suggest to people do not click on unsolicited
Exactly.
text messages or emails. That's true. But let's say you get an email that, and it's really becoming very, very hard to understand and spot phishing emails. So let's look at phishing emails because that's where 90% of data breaches come from, as well as fake social media profiles. That's really where it's coming from. So you get a link, or you get an email that comes through, and it's something about your Norton antivirus is due to be renewed. Do you even know if you have Norton antivirus on your computer? Not everybody is cognizant of all the applications that is running on their computer or what they purchased their computer with if they got it from some vendor, like a Dell or HP or something like that. It comes with a bundled package. Do you really know what's on the computer? So Norton is very known and useful. The thing that we look at is we look at the what's known as web scraping. So we look at the email address to make sure it comes from where it's supposed to be coming from, not from Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, or something like that. Because why would you get a notice for renewal from Norton from somebody from Gmail?
Exactly.
That's a first click. That's a first time thing that sets a red flag. People don't take the time. They work too fast. There's three different types of customers that are out there.
Okay.
One that says, I don't have the skills and talent, so that's why I fall victim to frauds and scams. I don't know what to look for. Second one is, I work way too darn fast, and I don't have the time to pick up on the subtle nuances in my browser, so that's why I fall victim to it. And the third one, and this is the one that's most prevalent, I'm just too darn smart. It'll never happen to me.
The overconfidence type.
Yeah.
Forgive me, it happens, as Kyle says, to just about everybody out there.
Mm-hmm. And Arun, just to add on to that quickly, as far as international students, I mean, I know a lot of them are on WhatsApp groups, right? That's how they keep communication, even to family back home and stuff like that, right?
Exactly.
Again, as Jeff was saying, just because you click the link right away, that doesn't necessarily mean you're compromised. This is the difference. You asked, like, what could you expect for CyberAI? The difference is we have a two-pronged approach. So it's not just the software; it's also CyberAi, the educational videos on YouTube, the book, as I was saying. So it's like a multifaceted attack. Also, I would love to encourage international students to join the forums because more than not, what happens is when you come to a community that is of your own, so say you're one international student in a room with 800 others, I'm pretty sure that you will find or come across someone else who's come across maybe the exact same text message that you got about a scam, right? So in this way, the forums play a pivotal role because they can help warn each other. So if I maybe came across a scammer run and you've never seen it before, I could at least say to you, hey, I got this on Wednesday. Be careful of this. Check it out. So it serves as a warning. So with all these different ways that we're attacking fraudsters and scammers, it's very comprehensive and complete.
Okay, this is getting very interesting, and let me just dive into my one more question that I have. So can I assume that I have not downloaded CyberAI Scamblock as yet, but is it just running at the back, just like how you would run like a VPN? Like you have it installed and it's just running up and running, and it's protecting like.
It runs as a browser extension connected to your browser. So yes, it runs in the back end.
Okay.
But it does bring you an instant alert when you look to have it actually recognize and identify known frauds and scams, or it comes up with the various different types of alerts that we have. I will offer this if people want to see a demo of Scamblocks Plus running, go to the Scamblocks, SCAMBLOX.io, our website there, and click on the picture of the dog in the carousel. That's CyberAi for socializing safety. That'll bring you to his YouTube channel directly. Click on episode 5 for a Scamblocks demo, and he will walk you through it, the different scenarios and how it works. And the speed of how it works is not rigged. That's the actual speed of how it alerts people to messaging. I think people will be very impressed.
I think that with that said, let me just pull up a testimonial from one of your users. I think that would make more sense than let's show them live right now. So here is Zane, who is one of your current existing user and has something to address.
Hi everyone, my name is Zain. I'm an international student currently pursuing my postgraduate certification from George Brown College. As an international student, I've had my fair share of encounters with frauds and scams. That's why I got interested in cybersecurity. During my co op semester with CyberAi, I've learned a lot about it recently and how to protect myself. Recently, I downloaded Scam Blocks, and let me tell you, it's been a game changer. It's already alerted me to potential scams, saving me from falling victim. Plus, it's super budget friendly, especially for us international students. Now, don't let scammers ruin your experience abroad. Protect yourself with scam blocks.
Yeah,
I think Zane said it best of all. Just
yeah.
protect yourself with ScamBlocks Plus.
And
Exactly.
Arun, you know what it is for me too? I love seeing that because it's like it's a game. The scammers treat us as victims, right? So it's like bringing the fight to them. It's more so about equipping people with the right knowledge, and it's a warm feeling when you see people who are um, either educating themselves or their family members. It's a good thing. So shout out to Zane. I really appreciate him giving us a testimonial.
And then also, Carl, you and Jeff, I think you were mentioning about the special promotion that you were having as well. So,
Yes. Do you want to talk to them about that, Kyle?
Yeah, the special promotion, and Jeff, you could touch on it. I know we're doing the 1999 for international students, and we have it on our website now. And I'm just pulling it up. But Jeff, go ahead while you could
Sure.
explain it to
It's
them more.
it's a 1999 offering only to ISM Power members right now.
Yes.
The normal price is $29.99 um, for a copy, a licensed copy of ScamBlocks Plus for an annual 1 year contract subscription. But we're offering to people here as members of ISM Power for $19.99 a special price, and it's going to be available for the next 10 days. So it goes out of offer as of midnight on the 18th. So the link there that I think you're sharing on the screen,
yes, that's correct. It's in
that's
the
where
comment
you
section.
need to click on. It'll take you to our Thrive Card checkout and sales page, and you can get it there.
Mhm. Yeah. I would also, Arun, encourage the students to follow us on our social medias, LinkedIn and Instagram in particular, and the YouTube page. And if you just have any questions, just reach out to us. We're very open. Our team is very diverse. Again, Jeff and Suzanne are international students themselves. So any questions you guys have, we'll be happy to help it and just give you a walkthrough of what you're looking for. We're here to help.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I have already pasted that in the comment section below. So if anyone is interested in downloading scam blocks and using it, you heard it from here straight. A special promotion for 1999, and you have that running from today, the 8th of February, all the way until 18th of Feb. So you have some times to decide as well. And yes, I mean, let's proceed on to the next step, Kyle. Uh, yeah, I mean, now that we've talked a lot about cyber AI and the overall protection, let's dive in a little bit to all those students who are looking to pursue a career in cybersecurity. So, I think for my first point would be, could you advise from Canadian security career guide, like what considering your guidance, somebody who specialized in cybersecurity, what skills and education do you believe in as essential for somebody who's looking to start on the career?
Well, let me take this one, Kyle, here.
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead.
if you want to look to getting yourself a career in cybersecurity, you really need to delve yourselves in the sciences, math, social science, behavior, computer science, and engineering. Those are the skill sets that you really need. You still need to still have marketing skills, human resource skills, because those skills are still going to be needed in any company that's out there. But if you have um, those basic skill sets that I just listed, they will help you a long way. Further, what will help you is getting certifications. Now, where you need to go for that is a website called isc2.org. That is the International Information System Security Consortium. I know that's a lot, but it's ISC squared is how it's pronounced. From there, you can get two designations. The first one I suggest is called the CC, Certificate in Cyber. and that is your basic level entry certificate that companies are looking for to see if you really understand the problems and challenges in the cybersecurity world. Once you've worked in the field for a while, you can look to work to attain what's called the CISSP, which is a Certified Information System Security Professional. That is the gold standard of cybersecurity. If you have those two certificates, you will not be unemployed for very long. I can pretty much guarantee that, because there are millions of jobs that are needed in cybersecurity. It goes for across anywhere where there's a digital footprint. So think of communication, transportation, um, healthcare. Think of just about anywhere where there's any type of digital footprint. That's where cybersecurity, banking, and finance. Think of anywhere that it's about, you know, uh, where there's a digital footprint. That's where it has to be. Law enforcement.
Mhm.
It goes the full gamut. So it's not, even if you think about it, your small businesses, the coffee shop down the road that you go to, they may, have some type of award system program that's out there. That's digital. It has the potential of being hacked, or the fact that they use emails. So they have the potential of being hit with known as phishing emails, and the fact of fake social media profiles. Many young people today are involved in the digital currency theme that's out there. That's something where there is a huge problem with cybersecurity and the fact of frauds and scams happening all the time.
Mhm.
So,
Because earlier on my inside scoop session, I had the opportunity to speak with a student who is studying in Lambton College, and
mhm,
he's also pursuing a career in cybersecurity. So it was good. It was a very interesting journey to learn, from his career of what it takes to be in this field. So number one, the one key thing he mentioned was attending all the networking events that they have, and then all
mhm,
hackathons. That is a place where you not only meet like people, but also you meet your own community from there.
mhm,
From what I've known is people who are say software engineers, you would often move in groups. So if you are a part of a team or a community, that's where you are able to get exposure to a lot of businesses as well. So what's your thoughts
sure.
on this?
Yeah.
Actually, we are participating in the Seneca Housing Hackathon that's happening this March up at Seneca College here in Toronto. So we're going to be one of the sponsors there for that event. So if you plan on wanting to be involved in a hackathon, I invite you to come to that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can I
And
talk to you about some other type of job prospects? For example, when you come into the cybersecurity world, you don't just get lucky enough to go say, okay, I'm going to be the CEO of a company, unless you start your own. But for example, if you're an information security analyst or a cybersecurity analyst, that's a great place to start. Penetration testing, or what's known as an ethical hacker, that's another one. Or potentially an application security engineer for helping people to understand application security. And finally, if you want to get involved in law enforcement, a computer forensic analyst or a digital forensic analyst is also a great starting point to get yourself involved in cybersecurity.
mhm. And Arun, I'll just touch quickly and say, you know what else it's done? You brought up your student that you were talking to. It really
Yes.
helps with your social skills as well, because you begin to learn the different stories that people have been going through, well, what they've lost and how they've been impacted by fraud and scams. What I could say is we need as many individuals to participate in cybersecurity, build careers. We need to bring the fight to fraudsters and scammers, and the more the merrier. So for all the international students who are watching, as Jeff rightly said, there is tremendous opportunity to grow. There's money to be made, and you're doing a good social good. You're helping to combat and fight a real problem that all of us face. So it's amazing to be a part of.
I think let's chat after this podcast as well, because we have a lot, as you mentioned, that you are sponsoring an event. So we have a lot of students who is in cybersecurity as well. So I'm sure that we could come up, we could potentially reach out to them, or create some campaigns around this and tap
Mhm.
into the market.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the other thing I wanted to ask is, so Jeff, you've been in the market, you've been in the industry for over 35 years. So um, from where we are now, how do you see, like, where do you see the future of cybersecurity heading onto? And also, how is cyber AI preparing to meet those future challenges? Because as we know, there's a lot of AI that's coming in, and people are really taking advantage of this. Both.
Oh my goodness. You hit on a really hot topic with AI because as many positive as AI can bring to the world, there is that flip side of the negative
Exactly.
side that it brings as well.
Hmm.
That is a very good question. And let me pose to an article that just happened over this past weekend, an incident that happened in Hong Kong where a very young financial analyst was convinced through a deep fake AI that his CFO and his team was on a video call, and he was convinced to proceed with a debit of $25 million to walk out the door of the company. Now, he was very suspicious when he first got on the call because he didn't believe it was true. But then when he started seeing and hearing his co-team members and his upper management on the call, his suspicions went lessened, and he
Mhm.
did that. But here's the thing, and again, it goes back to common sense. If you think something is too good to be true or doesn't look right, then it probably isn't. It probably is a problem. You should go with your gut feeling. And the way you could potentially check something like this, if you're in, say, a video call and you want to ensure that who you're talking to is the real person, do a message to them, either through your phone or through your corporate instant messaging package, and check with their secretary. Is so and so in the office? Is he scheduled to be on a phone call, a video call with me? Uh, and then you can confirm, not only confirm, but then you verify. It's a saying that I like to use: measure twice, cut once. So confirm and verify, and then act upon it.
Authenticate.
Yes.
Hmm.
But don't just authenticate once, authenticate twice. So
Sounds
you
like two-step
confirm.
verification.
Yeah.
Well, for the growth, if you talked about the growth of where we like to move forward, CyberAI has worked with our first product, ScamBlocks Plus. Our goal is to actually work in another area, more in big business going forward with privileged access credential abuse. And we're developing an AI solution for that problem that is happening out there in the world of big business. That is a $3 trillion a year problem that is happening worldwide. And that will be where you have somebody deep in an organization that is disgruntled and angry and feels they've been overlooked, and they want to get even. So they elevate their privileged access somehow, and they look to take advantage of that opportunity to defraud or scam the company.
Yeah.
We have a solution that we're looking to develop using AI to help mitigate or reduce the risk of that from occurring. But that's for future growth. That's where we're looking for. We're
Hmm.
not just looking just to hang our hats on ScamBlocks Plus. We can see the need for other avenues to look through.
And Arun, just to add quickly, for me personally, I wanna see Scamblocks and Cyber AI help push this nation so far ahead that other across like the U.S. or even Europe, they're looking to Canada to say, wow, what are they doing over there that's reducing such a risk in frauds and scams, particularly for their international students, people who come here to study. So that's my goal, to kind of have us on the map where it's like we're really just really driving a hedge at a real wedge into the crime and reducing those rates and having Canada really as a powerhouse when it comes to fighting fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Thank
I,
you,
I
Carl.
really feel that when you talk about scams, and some people take it very lightly because they feel that they are able to outsmart all these scammers, but you never know that how things would come in. So that's why I the first thing I asked you was, what are the mediums, or how do I install, or how is scam blocks protecting me from on all my devices. So I think, just coming back a little bit onto that topic. So the promotion, the promotion that you had for people to download, so 1999, is that on just one particular device, or it's amongst all your devices, just
No,
using?
that's one particular device. It's one browser per user per device. So
Okay.
let's say you have your computer, right? Your desktop or laptop, and you have Chrome, you have Firefox, and you have Microsoft Edge. To put scam blocks on all three browsers will require you to get three different licenses, one for each browser.
All right, that makes sense. And
We're
any
going to be looking to develop what we like to call a 5 device install plan so that your same email user can work for up to 5 devices. That's coming in the works.
okay,
That'll soon
so
be offered for $99.95 for the 5 device plan. But
okay, so
that's in the
you have
process
the
of.
package coming up soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And then just diving a little bit deeper into that. So, in your view, what's the biggest cybersecurity challenges facing in Canada today?
Oh, Kyle, you want to take a shot?
I mean, it's
Biggest.
broad, but I would love to see get your inputs because since you guys are being
Sure.
there in the forefront.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
let Kyle do first, and I'll come back second.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I would say a lot of it probably has to do with us as individuals just taking our individual cybersecurity more seriously. So I would say, I mean, it's not even like the fraud itself is going to be there. We know that criminals are doing their thing, but I feel for me there needs to be um, an uptake in society of just how serious this is, and for people to not wait until they lose money, until they start taking their own personal online and offline safety seriously. So if any, to answer your question, that would be, there needs to be like a like a threshold of where people are now taking this and understanding the real risk, and that they do something personally for their own safety online. That would be the biggest threat I see facing us.
For
And how
me,
about yourself, Chad?
Arun, I'm going to answer it with a single word: education.
Mhm.
If you can be educated on the vulnerabilities that we are and have as humans, you can help defend yourself better against it because now you know what may be out there happening. For example, I talked about the digital currency scams that are out there. One of the
Yep.
biggest things that's happening there is called FOMO, the fear of missing out. And it's always about, oh, I missed out on the opportunity of Bitcoin. You
Mhm.
know what? It's not the only one that's out there, and there'll be others. So don't fret over FOMO.
Mhm.
Understand that it's a vulnerability that scammers and fraudsters are going to play upon you to go involved with it. Um, the the more you can educate yourself on the attack practices that the fraudsters and scammers are going to try to do, whether it's a romance scam, whether it's a lottery scam, whether it's some type of digital currency scam, the more you can help to understand those things and educate yourself, the better off you're going to be and the better prepared you'll be to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I think we are just hitting the time spot. Before we end, what I like to do with my guests is I like to host a rapid fire round. So this way, what I'll do is I'll start with Kyle first, and then Kyle, you can pass it on to Jeff.
Sure.
And it's just a quick round to see, it's nothing to do with cyber AI or scam block or anything. It's just to get to know you, get for people to get to know more about Kyle and more about Jeff personally. So
So
um,
would we call this the hot potato round? Pass the
uh,
hot potato?
I guess so.
Okay, let's
I
do
mean,
it.
where I
Yep.
come from, we call it the rapid fire round.
Okay, let's do it.
So one cybersecurity tool you can't live without.
I would say Bitdefender. Jeff, your turn.
One cybersecurity, say that again, one cybersecurity,
One cybersecurity tool you can't live without.
Defender ATP.
Okay. And then Kyle, favorite book or resources on cybersecurity?
I mean, besides our book of CyberAi, um, I would say maybe Tyler Cutler, who we were going to be Terry Cutler, excuse me, who we're going to be working with, wrote a book on cybersecurity. It's on his LinkedIn page. It was a good book that I read before we were writing this one, so I really like that book. Jeff.
Okay. And is there any other books as well that you would recommend? Because I feel when it comes to book, it's not just one. And
Mhm.
for people who are in professional roles, their reading books is one of the ways that help them really, really grow. So
True. I mean, for me, that'd be pretty much it. It relates to cybersecurity. But Jeff, do you have any books you would say?
Hmm. Well, besides CyberAi's book that's
Mhm.
out there are a number of different ones. You could go literally on Amazon and do a search on cybersecurity. You'll come up with something close to 17,000 books that are available out there. I think if you're going to look for fraud and scams, don't just look for cybersecurity books because there are a ton of them out there that
Which is your
talk
favorite?
about the overall cybersecurity experience. Narrow your search down to fraud and scam detection and prevention, and you will probably get a list of maybe 16 books.
I think Arun, a really good one is the Little Black Handbook of Frauds and Scams.
Yes,
That's
that's
one
another
that
one. Yes,
it's a yeah, wide
that
known
was
one.
put out by the Canadian Press, if I remember right.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so what is the one piece of for Kyle? What is the one piece of advice for aspiring cybersecurity professionals?
I would say my greatest piece of advice is, of course, hone your craft, but also get to know people's stories. Usually, when victims, lose money or whatever the case may be, they most times they want to be heard. So be open yourself up to hearing them, and then maybe if they're interested in what you have to offer, then provide it. But just be human about the experience and realize that they're victims. So just be open would be my advice.
The other thing I would often stress for advice is don't be afraid or shamed or embarrassed to talk about it if you yourself have experienced a fraud or scam. The more, again, and this again goes back to the education and what Kyle was talking about with our forums, the more we can share experiences, the more we can speak to what has happened to all of us, the more we will learn from each other and the more trusting we will be of each other.
Okay, thank you so much. And then, what is the most unexpected lesson you've learned from starting Cyber AI?
Uh, that once a fraud you see on, say, a Monday, it's not necessarily going to be there on a Tuesday. These scammers are very efficient. So what they do is they just throw out different, especially on Instagram. I see a page and then the next day it's gone. So I didn't realize some of them are very shifty. They might put out a scam just to get people for a day. And once they reach their goals, they move on. So that's one thing that I wasn't prepared for that I didn't realize, but it was interesting to learn.
What they look to do is what we like to call rinse and repeat.
Okay.
Um, as Kyle was speaking to, they'll put up a scam for a day. It could be a day, it could be for a couple of weeks period, but then it goes away after they capture their individuals. But eventually, it rears its head back up in say 10 weeks or so, because what they wanted to do is they wanted to clear a couple of cycles of your credit card so that you forget about it. And then it peers its head back up. And it's maybe the same exact scam or slightly different, but it has the same look and feel. So it's what we like to call rinse and repeat.
Interesting. Okay.
You
And
see
then,
that a lot in the browsers when you look at those sponsored links, the click through
Mhm.
links.
Yeah,
You have to be really careful about those type of links there because they're really not vetted by the browser companies. All they want is a credit card, a person's name, a phone number, and a mailing address. Now, three of those can be completely fictitious. The only thing they care about, and it's no fault against them, they want a credit card to punch the charge through. They're looking to sell ad space, and that's what it does. They don't care who they sell to. So again, it goes back to the old adage of buyer beware.
mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. And then one last question for the night before we end this. Um, what is the most surprising fact about cybersecurity that most people don't know about?
I mean, I would say that if you really just take time with it, it's not as complicated as it sounds. A lot of people hear cybersecurity and they get kind of scared, but yeah, if you're just kind of understanding it's about protecting your online presence, it's not as difficult as you may think it to be. Jeff?
Oh, see, Kyle and I have a different perspective on this. I think you have to be very specific when you look at cybersecurity because cybersecurity covers a whole gamut of knowledge base. It looks not only at just at fraud and scam prevention and education and detection, but it looks at identity access management. It looks at security operations centers. It looks at understanding policies and procedures and how to bring people on and off board of a company. It looks to delve into the different types of law and what are the responsibilities that govern the industry. So you can focus on any one of those areas and be a specialist in that area. So when we say cybersecurity, it's a really large gamut of opportunity. You need find um, to fine tune where you want to go and how you want to do it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Kyle and Jeff. It's been a pleasant evening, and thank you so much for sharing so much information today. And I hope that it is useful for our audiences, those who are looking for an alternative or a platform to help them prevent from scams, and also international students who are looking to build a career in cybersecurity. So, I mean, let's keep in touch from here, and also let's talk regarding the event that you're going to be sponsoring in March, so that we can invite a lot of our students to join as well. And those who are listening, be sure to hop on or follow Cyber AI and Scam Block to see if you're able to join the hackathons. For today, thank you so much, everybody, and have a good evening ahead.
Thank you, Arun.
Thank
Thank you.
you, guys. Be safe.